This is a video review of Tobot X, and I'm going to let you know up front, this figure's bad. This figure is a special kind of bad. Now, my general opinion of Tobot figures in the past has been they're great toys if you can find them for cheap, but they generally are not worth a high price of importing. There have been some exceptions. Quadrant and Tobot Adventure Z are both great figures I recommend for anyone to own, but this guy right here, he's one of the first Tobots that Young Toys made, and it shows. It really shows. Now, before we get into the figure itself, I'm going to cover this little thing here. It's kind of like a morpher or something. But it's very interesting. It comes with these little cards right here. Some of them are cardboard, and some of them are these weird paper, thin plastic things. They're not like credit card stuff. They're like film or something. And what they do is they have cutouts on them, and the way they work is you slide them in like this, and then you press them up, and then it's like it's a holographic communicator here. What sucks about it is that the really thin ones will just fall out, so they can't just stay in, and the cardboard ones, let's use this one right here, if you put them in, then they don't really pop up at all. You have to help them up, and even then they don't really work very well. But they don't fall out, which is nice, but yeah. So that's a really neat gimmick. It's just the cards that you use them with aren't really the best design cards possible. But it's a neat idea, and I like it. And it is a neat morpher, and there is a another neat feature to it I'll show you. Let me put these off to the side, which is if you pull, and this will attach to your wrist, by the way, but my wrist is too manly for it to work. If you press this, you can pop this off, and this is actually one of the keys that you can use to start the transformation. It does come with this little silvery, blue, shiny key that you can put in, but you also get this, and this has a very interesting feature where if you press the middle, it's like an engine revving. I don't know how loud it is on the camera, so I'm going to put it near the microphone so you can hear it. I'll have to watch a video to hear how loud that is, but the idea is that, like, you put it in, and then you turn it, start the transformation, and you press it, and it sounds like an engine. And I think this is really neat. Even though I'm not super duper impressed with Tobot X, this is cool. Now I'm going to put this off to the side, and we'll focus on Tobot X itself. Now I put the key in and turned it, and that started the transformation by pressing the arms out here. And then we're going to continue by pulling the doors out like this. And actually, before I do that, I should actually cover the vehicle itself. I neglected to do that, sorry. I'll push this back together. The vehicle itself looks fine. There's not that much to it. It doesn't even look like it's going to be a bad toy from the vehicle, because the vehicle holds together quite well. It's well detailed and it rolls well. But, yeah, let's get back to the transformation. So, do this to start it, and for some reason this side over here doesn't like to work with the key very much. I don't mind too much because the keys are not... I usually don't use the keys to transform them because I don't like keeping track of small extra bits. So anyway, you pull the doors out like that, and then you pull the arms out like this, and they'll just hang out to the side for now. Then you're going to come up here and pull the roof up like this, and then it will kind of sandwich down like this. You can't really start clipping it together yet because you have to deal with this stuff down here. So to do this, you want to pop the legs apart down here, and that will help you separate the legs from the back of the car here. And this will clip up here onto the back of the pelvis, then that will fold up there. Next, we need to start messing with the legs, and the legs are awful on this thing. You'll see why. So, I'm going to pop them off. I'm going to put these sides, turn these sides, and then straighten them out. And then the heels, you want to push them up one click. If you push them back another click, they won't act as heels because they won't be flat with the ground. Then you'll bring the feet up like this. And these ratchets, by the way, are just disgusting. They feel awful. They're more plastic grinding on plastic than plastic moving over plastic. And it feels awful. Anyway, after you do that, then you can bring this close and you can bring the feet down. And yes, these parts do get very annoying. They crash into stuff all the time. You're supposed to pull this down, but it's usually just handling it, this gets pushed back up. Then you will pull the arms down, and yes, this does come undone a lot. It's part of the reason why I don't like the toy. You'll pull the fists out, and then you'll pull this back, push the head up, and then clip this into place. And this is Tobot X, all transformed, and it doesn't look bad, but he doesn't stand very well. And it's because his legs are just awful. And part of the reason is because it depends on what's happening, but sometimes they don't align. Like one leg will be, sometimes the ratchets will be so that one leg is higher than the other when the other one's lower, and sometimes it's reversed, so it's hard to keep them balanced well so that he can actually balance. And then the other problem is that the ratchets in here kind of do the same thing, and then they're also very soft ratchets, so they just bend a lot. Like if you're just trying to bend one, you'll bend another, then you have to spend a lot of time realigning them so he can stand. And then he does not have a flat instep. He's going to rock on this point so that, like, I'm trying to get him to stand, and it's just a hassle getting him to stand. And if you do get him to stand, that's all he can do. He can only stand. Like you can get him to stand a bit better if you put his legs together like this, but it's a special kind of bad what they did with his legs, because like they're sculpted well, kinda, except they're real mushy and not, like, you can see like a lot of flack on them, and the overall idea behind how they're sculpted is well done, but they didn't come out very well. Like the cat drawing, I'm sure looks fine, but they do not. But anyway, it's just a hassle getting him to stand. And he doesn't look too bad, even though his shoulders look kind of narrow. Part of that's just because I didn't have the shoulders up, but even still, they don't quite look attached to the body, so it looks like these right here are his shoulders, and then this stuff is just hanging off to the side. And so he looks very narrow-shouldered, even though he's not. And then the arms also suck because they're on these double hinges where they just fall a lot, and then if you try and move his arms forward or back, then this will come undone. The elbows are fine, but they're elbows. It's hard to screw them up. The one good thing about him is that he has a ball-jointed neck, which is kind of rare in Tobots. He's like the only one that... There might be others that have ball-jointed necks, but I'd have to check. He's one of the few that I remember having ball joints in him, and certainly none of the later figures really have many ball joints in them. But anyway, this is Tobot X, and he is just awful. I hate this figure, but I will keep him just so I can have all of them, because I am a Tobots completionist, because the other figures in the line have really sold me. Now anyway, this is Tobot X. I do not recommend him at all, but I will be reviewing the later versions of this figure. Here's Evolution X, and here is Adventure X, and these guys, these two guys over here are awesome. But anyway, this has been a video review for Tobot X, and I don't really recommend him. I don't recommend Tobot Y either, but I'll get to him a bit later. Anyway, yeah, Tobot X. I review Transformers, Tobots, Digimon, Power Rangers stuff. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.